Magician!
Hey YouTube, Dark Magician 84 here with a top 8 video. Yeah, it's 8 because I couldn't round this up to 5 or 10. I'm counting down the top 8 reasons why I won't play in current format tournaments anymore. Now I know I sound like a broken record here, and I know I kind of did this video already, like about a year and a half ago, talking about why it is I keep quitting tournaments, but obviously a bit more to that has come about since then. And the reason I'm doing this video is because people seem to keep forgetting that I don't play in current format tournaments, or they suggest I play in a tournament. But what these guys don't realise is that I don't want to play in current format tournaments anymore. Obviously, pass format and speed duel I absolutely will. And obviously I will continue to do my Grand Championship series and the spin-offs, but when it comes to current format normal tournaments, I just won't do them anymore. And there's 8 reasons why, which I'll go over right now. Number 8, Dragoon existing. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, no one's playing Dragoon right now. Well, that's not entirely true, because branded decks still play it. Maybe not all branded decks, but they still can, just by throwing in the Light Hex Sealed Fusion, just to do the whole combo of branded fusion, mill, or send Albaz and Light Hex, make Albion's effect, banish those materials, bring out Red Eye Stalk Dragoon. I mean, really, what's really stopping every branded player play Dragoon? And yeah, obviously it's my most hated card in the game, and I just don't want to deal with it, because it negates everything and has fuck all weaknesses. I mean, there are ways to deal with it, of course, but not a lot. And I'm just fed up of the arguments over Dragoon. Or if not that, then I'm questioned or giving shit over why I don't play it in my Dark Magician deck. I mean, I can just picture playing Dark Magician in a tournament and people questioning why I don't play it, and I'm just sick and tired of it. But yeah, that's that. Number 7, Ash Blossom existing. Yeah, so basically, like, 2 of my top 5 hated cards in the entire game. Now, I've already talked about my reasons for hating Ash Blossom in my top 10 hated card video, and my I think it was either a top 20 or top 10 hated main deck monster video, I don't know. But yeah, I know obviously hating Ash is an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion. It's like, this card just pisses me off so much. Like, I'm just sick of seeing it in almost every deck, and it's one of those cards that just stops too many things. Now, I know it's a necessary evil against meta, but to me, it's pure evil, and I just feel like when it's used on me, a non-meta player, I feel like I'm being punished for crimes that the meta committed while I didn't. And of course there's hardly any ways to stop Ash. I mean, like I said before, Caught by the Grave is the best out to it, but because it's limited, the chances of drawing it are just too damn slim. Plus, like, some of us can't afford to get multiple copies of Triple Tactics Talents and cross out Designator. Yeah, I'd much rather have 3 copies of Called By, because it's easier to use and it's just cheaper and easier to get. But yeah, even if it's not OTK and lockdown decks just stopping me from being able to play, then Ash is. But even outside of tournaments, there's just no escape. I just can't catch a break when it comes to that little bitch. I don't know. Questionable reason, I know. Considering hating Ash is an unpopular opinion, along with the fact that it can come up in casual play, but it's still my opinion, damn it. Number 6. I don't know how to describe this one. Bad ban lists, or just ban lists that aren't perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, the last 3 ban lists were good, including the one that came into effect just the other day, but I feel like a lot more could have been done, because there were changes on each of these lists that I really didn't like a lot, along with the fact that not every problematic card or deck got hit. No matter how good a ban list is, just nothing's perfect. But yeah, the problem is, which I've talked about before, is that, like, annoying degenerate cards and decks either won't get hit, or even if they do, they don't get hit enough, or cards get banned that don't deserve to be banned, or cards get unbanned that really shouldn't be unbanned, or cards get limited when they really shouldn't be, or unlimited when they really shouldn't be. I mean, I know obviously Konami can't please everyone, but the thing is, like, cards get banned or limited for a very good reason, and they should just stay where they are. Well, except in the case of Stratos, but that's beside the point. And the other issue is, even if degenerate cards and decks do get hit, it doesn't matter, because something equally as annoying, or even worse, always comes along and starts the whole cycle all over again, which makes having a ban list pointless. And it's just like, well, what's even the point in having a ban list if we're always going to have degenerate, unfair cards in the game? Because, yeah, clearly Konami don't like it when there's only fair and balanced cards in the game. Either that, or they just use the list to make money rather than fix problems in the game that need fixing. But at least, like on the previous three, they have started listening more to the players, but yeah, like I said, they could have done more, I think. You probably won't agree with me, but again, this is my opinion. And obviously, because I've stopped playing in tournaments, I've just stopped caring that much about the ban list. I mean, I'll still obviously follow it, but other than that, I'm just not holding my breath for changes that I want to see. I mean, that's just the thing. Like, if you stop caring about this sort of stuff, then you won't be disappointed. That's how I see it. Number 5, players taking the game too seriously in some way or another. Yeah, this is something else that kind of bothers me, is like, just players who either just only care about winning rather than playing for the fun of it, and trying desperately to win with cards and decks that say you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I know obviously winning the game is the idea of the game, but players who take it too seriously just take it too far and just become try-hards and just do whatever it takes to win. Even resorting to using OTK, FTK, lockdown and troll decks. In other words, decks that don't let anyone play the game. I just hate that this is what it's become. Along with like getting angry or upset at either losing or just not doing that well in a tournament. Right, yeah, I know I've got annoyed and upset about some losses, but that's never been because I lost. It was more because of the way I lost. Like bricking, misplaying, or getting fucked over by end of match procedure, or having my deck locked down by negates, floodgates, and disruptions, just where it gets to a point where I can't play the game. But other than that, I never get annoyed or upset over a loss, because, with every winner there has to be a loser. That's just how it is, and like I keep saying, it doesn't matter to me if I win or lose my games, as long as I have a chance to actually play and do something. That's all I care about. But yeah, other ways involve just rule sharking and getting way too anal about certain rules. I mean, yeah, there are rules that matter, but there's like some, I feel, which really aren't a big deal. Alright, maybe it would be a big deal in tournaments, but even so, there's just some rules that are just plain stupid. Either that, or the opponent or spectators will be backseat dueling, being like, oh my god, you misplayed, you overextended, why did you not do this, that and the other, you should have done that, why are you not playing this? Yeah, it's really fucking annoying. Then again, spectators shouldn't even be doing this in a tournament game anyway, because it's interference, and interference, of course, is against tournament rules. But But yeah, like I said, even if it's not spectators backseat dueling, it'll be the opponent. Now, this hasn't happened for a while, obviously, but it's something that can happen. And yeah, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. Of course, that being said, backseat dueling has come up in casual games, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it's a casual game, it's not a big deal, but either way, I'm like, I'll just shut up, piss off, and just let me and my opponent play the game. You know? Number 4, Dark Magician hate. And by Dark Magician hate, I mean banish cards. Now, I've already talked about this several times already, but yeah, you already know how much I hate Dark Magician getting banished. And there's just too many banished cards in competitive play right now. Bestials, Kashtira, Runix, Macrant D Fissure if you're going against Flunderies, or a random macro deck. Goatees, yeah, Goatees can pop up. Call by the Grave, DD Crow. Yeah, it's just too much. And having any number of my Dark Magicians getting banished just hurts a lot, like in more ways than one. Now, no one's ever banished all 3 copies of my Dark Magician, thankfully, but I fear it could happen one day. That being said, the closest anyone ever came to banishing all 3 of them was in a battle royale from like many years back, where it was a spellcaster special, and 2 of them got banished off Knights and Sorcerer. But thankfully, I was able to still win the whole thing with my 1 remaining Dark Magician. Yeah, that was horrible. Don't want to go through that again. Now I could obviously just play something else in tournaments, but I prefer to use Dark Magician because it's my favourite and signature deck. Yeah, you know, despite people saying, "Oh, why don't you play something else?" But you know, I've played other decks in the past, but I just have more fun with Dark Magician. I always have, always will, and nothing's going to change that. Number 3, end of match procedure. Yeah, one of the ways that I absolutely hate losing, just getting fucked over by end of match procedure. Like, I almost always lose through it, and it's so annoying. Now, sometimes there have been matches where I either won or got a draw through it, but other than that, it just feels like every time my games go to time, I always fucking lose. And it really pisses me off. And it makes me wish end of match procedure wasn't a thing. I know it's needed to move the tournament along, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Plus, the match doesn't end properly. There's no real winner or loser, and I prefer to see a match through to the end to decide who the real winner is. Now, I know, obviously, tournament rounds now last 45 minutes instead of 40, which you could argue can give me a better chance of winning through end of match procedure, but knowing my luck, I'll still get fucked over by it anyway. The other issue with that is people's demeanours change when there's like 2 or 3 minutes left, and if they're on higher life points, they'll just deliberately slow play, just to get a cheap, easy win through end of match procedure. And then do things like flick through both players' graveyards for no reason, ask current life points and cards in hand, hand shuffle, things like that. I'd like to think I can pick up on this. I don't want to assume anything, but if I was still playing in tournaments and you did that shit to me and it was obvious, I'd be like, are you deliberately slow playing? And obviously if you tried that shit, I will call a judge on you. I'm pretty sure it is against the rules to deliberately slow play. I don't know for sure, but I feel like that's something that could and should be worth a warning or something. But yeah, it is what it is. Number 2, not drawing my sided cards when I need them. Yeah, there've been a few too many times where my side deck failed me, like especially in the winner box tournament where I went 2 matches in a row where I didn't draw a single one of my sided cards, and that played a part in losing those matches. Either that, or if I do see them, then I just end up bricking. Either that, or the opponent just finds a way around them, like counters my countering in some way, or my sided cards just don't do anything, and then I still lose anyway. But mainly the problem is just not drawing them when I need them, and it has made me lose a lot of faith in side decking. Like I keep saying, what's even the point in having one if you don't draw anything you sided in? This is why it's annoying when people say, oh, just draw the out. Well, it's not that simple, because it's not going to happen every single time. It's rather annoyingly, the protagonist luck in the anime just doesn't exist in real life. Or even if it does, it happens on very rare occasions. So, yeah, I don't have much faith in my side deck anymore. I guess I could still make one anyway if I pass format tournaments and hope for the best, but I'd rather not rely on one if I can help it, just because it let me down too much. And as you've probably guessed, in at number 1 is decks that do things that don't let me play. Like I said, these can either be OTK decks, FTK decks, troll decks, or lockdown decks, regardless of whether said lockdown is either considered control or stun. Doesn't matter, they both do the same thing: stop anyone from being able to play. And that's regardless of whether these decks are meta, anti-meta, or neither. I'm just so sick and tired of decks that do things that don't let me play. It's just so infuriating. Like, I'm fed up of getting gamed turn one before I've had a chance to do something, or having my deck locked down by a board that negates floodgates or disruptions or any number of the above, so I can't fucking do anything at all. And then just lose badly to them, and it's like, great, I paid £7 or £8 entry just to scrub out. Didn't feel worth it, really. I'm not saying this comes up in every single tournament match, but yeah, it can, and it just sucks all the fun out of the game, and makes me feel like I just wasted my money. Now, even if you argue that there are ways to counter these decks, I mean, as I said previously, that doesn't mean you're always going to draw those outs, no matter how many you have. I mean, you could have the absolute nuts main decked or side decked, and you still won't draw any of them. Yeah, I'm just being realistic. I've been there too many times, and it's just annoying that playing decks that don't let anyone play seems to all that competitive Yu-Gi-Oh is about nowadays. I mean, I'd rather play against old school meta than modern meta any day. Like, I mean, back in the original series in GX era, yeah, there were some annoying decks like Burn, Chaos, Dino TK, Monarchs, but they're nothing compared to the bullshit that we have today. And it was bad enough when this kind of deck started coming about early in the Synchro era, and there were hardly any decks that did things that didn't let anyone play. There were like maybe one or two, but now there's just too many, and they just make the game annoying, boring and stagnant, and they just make competitive play stale, and it's just not worth it. I mean, it doesn't matter if I can beat them or not, they're just frustrating to play against, and they just suck all the fun, life and joy out of the game. And literally all I want to do is just actually play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't matter if I win or lose, as long as I can play, that's all I care about. That's why I just rather play casuals nowadays. Just to play against decks that are actually fair and balanced. But yeah, decks that don't let anyone play are basically the main reason why I stopped playing in them. It's just so I can specifically get away from them, so that I don't have to deal with them anymore. And I sure as hell don't want to deal with them in like casual games or Raw Rumbles, things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are all the reasons. Now, there was a disclaimer which I should have said right at the start. I am in no way trying to put anyone off playing in tournaments. I mean, if you enjoy tournaments and want to keep playing in them, well, that's up to you. That's your business. But I'm just explaining why they don't appeal to me personally. yeah, I'd just rather not deal with the competitive side anymore. I mean, since I retired from tournaments for good, I wanted like this channel and just my personal dueling space to be a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Free zone. Yeah, I want no part in the competitive side anymore. And yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.